Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's New Topic Tuesday, and I'm Gabby Sundra, and I help couples get what they both want. Now, often when I meet a couple, what they both want isn't usually so aligned. So this week, by the way, I just want to let you know now, this week we're going to have a free live masterclass on how to shift out of that blame dynamic and instead lean in to aiming for awesome by having an aligned vision about what you both want. But that's what I do. I help you get what you both want and become playmates and allies while you're doing it, rather than the adversarial dynamic of figuring out who's to blame and all of that. Okay, so that's what's coming up, and that is going to be Wednesday, tomorrow, live at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And if you want to register for that, and also if you come live, you get the free gift. Check out forbetter.love/map-mini. I think you can go to just mini too, forbetter.love mini. And you'll get a playbook where you can walk through and create your own vision absolutely for free, just for coming live. Okay, so that's about creating a vision and the forward focused. And today's topic is related to that. It is the third week of the proactive period. The proactive period is just that period of the 30 days in between the 90 days when we're pursuing our relationship goals. We take those 30 days off so we have a closed loop, so we have a beginning, middle, and end, and we're not just dragging on what we're pursuing as we lean into our relationship getting better and better and better and creating more and more play, peace, and passion. Endless effort is exhausting. That's why last week we talked about rest. So we put together this 4 weeks, the 30 days of the proactive period in between the 90-day games. Week 1, if you've been following along, is celebrate. We start with celebrating the fact that you even pursue having a relationship being better and better, that you are leaning into loving better and not just waiting for your beloved to do it, but you're doing it yourself and inspiring them to come along. And if they're not inspired yet, then you're just still moving forward and leaning into loving better in your own ways. So celebrate that. That was week 1. Week 2, last week was rest, right? How to give your relationship a rest, how to give yourself a rest, and how those rests are different. The impact that rest has on your creativity, your connection, so many different elements of looking at rest. So you can check that one out in IGTV from last week if you want to know more about that. But this week, it is reflect and reflection. Now, next week, we're going to talk about taking aim and setting your goals and taking your vision and really getting specific about, okay, what's the game we're playing? How are we going to have this get better? How are we going to bring play to our sex life? How are we going to bring play to our finances, or whatever is up for you? How are we going to bring play to play? Are we going to go on a vacation this summer? We'll get to all of those with taking aim, but before you take aim, you want to pause. You want to ponder and think about what's going on and what's been working and what hasn't been working, or I should say, what could work even better, before you then proceed and take aim and start the new 90-day game, which is the season of play, starting on May 15th. So here you are. It is the week of reflection. So how do you pause, ponder, and proceed? I actually have a whole masterclass on this one. I last offered it to a private group a year ago, but maybe we'll pull that one out again. But this is all. There is a blog this week available on, what is the actual title of that one? Here you go. The 3 steps to relationship reflection. Pause, ponder, proceed, right? And this is really about, I love this quote here. Self-reflection entails asking yourself, it's not about your beloved as much as we wish it would be. We can only change over here. Self-reflection entails asking yourself questions about your values, assessing your strengths and failures, thinking about your perceptions and interactions with others, and imagining where you want to take your life in the future. And in this case, also your relationship. That's by Robert L. Rosen. I do love quotes, love to sprinkle them into the blogs where I can and the social media. If you've got your favorite quotes out there, share them either here in the comments or go ahead and share it to any one of our send us a message. We'd love to know what you're up to as well, but put a comment here, save this message. Let us know what you do. So I already told you about the proactive period. This is the period of the week of reflection. And this is really about looking back so you can leap forward, right? And again, it's not grow all the time, but we want to have a beginning, middle, and end. We want to have a rest. We want to take a look around. And it's important that when we start pursuing our relationship goals, that we don't just willy-nilly go for it. Hey, anything's better than nothing. But why not be smart about it? Why not be playful about it? Why not be intentional about it? Especially, what I found is that if you put a little bit of intention, attention, and action, spread it out over time, it really takes this out of relationship fixing, it takes it out of relationship work, and instead brings it into play and really just your habit. What we're really going for here is what's the natural couple culture in your dynamic, so that, how you treat each other just keeps getting better and better, because it's not the individual moments you're focused on as much as it is the culture of how is your communication and how do you handle conflicts and what are those dynamics about. Okay, so looking back to leap forward, I got another quote here for you. This is the one that's based more in business and productivity and the science of success. I taught at Santa Barbara City College. I taught a CSU, UC transferable course on life success, time management, goal setting, all of that. And I got really into reading all the classics on personal development. Of course, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Person, people is that, and of course the 8 Habit. But Stephen Covey, and he's got this great quote: if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we've been getting, right? Pretty classic one. Now, one that I heard when I was in my master's program, actually this was in my undergraduate, and I went to a teacher to turn something in late, a TA, I think, and they had something on their door I thought was pretty funny, and I saved it for years later. I shouldn't say funny, I say it was a good reminder, a good alert. And this quote is, it's not given credited to anybody, but it said, experience is expensive. Just be sure you get what you paid for. And that's why we're reflecting, because we want to learn from what worked and from what could work better, right? We always want to be doing better. Not perfect. It's not about loving perfectly, but it is about loving better. And so how can we build that habit of pausing to celebrate, to rest, to reflect, and take aim, but actually really looking at what's important to us and what's working and what could be working even better? I hope you're liking these quotes. Send me your favorites again. Okay, we do not learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on experience. So yes, that experience is expensive. And if you really want to get what you paid for, you want to reflect on it, think about it, and consider what can you do? Not how you're going to, try and convince somebody else to do something different, but how can you do something different? Okay, any other quotes here? Oh, this one's from Buddha. Dwell not on the faults and shortcomings of others. Instead, seek clarity about your own. You've heard me say this again and again, I'm sure, if this isn't your first time at For Better Love, that you can't change your beloved. You can inspire them. You can invite them to play a game, which is way better than saying, we need to talk. Hey, I know you want to play a game. What if we tried this? So you can inspire them. You can entice them. You can impress them with what you're doing. Don't pressure them. Don't make them wrong. Blaming, shaming, complaining, criticizing. Harville Hendricks and Helen Hunt have done a great job of pointing out the research on how that is not helpful. I like to say human, maybe even understandable or justifiable, just not helpful. So we want to focus on what's helpful versus what's human, and what's really human but not so helpful is when we try to change someone else. So this great quote from Buddha is all about don't look to others. Personal development requires autonomy. Look and see what you can change. I don't even like change, but how you can evolve, how you can EBI it, right? Even better ifing it. Maybe you've seen our argument Even Better Ifing program, either the coaching program to take you through a particular argument or the master class and the playbook. I think that one's a few sheets, so it's a play sheet. But to actually, we look at your arguments, score your arguments, and look at how we can do even better next time. That's a great specific way you can reflect on your relationship. Is let's take our most common argument, our most reoccurring argument, whether that's about chores, money, how you spend your time, whatever it is, but take your most common argument and score it through the Argument Even Better Ifing program, or do a session with me. All right, I think I got a couple other quotes here I want to share with you, and we have a few more minutes. Okay, Vikas Runwal. Honest self-reflection opens your mind to reprogramming, to change, to success and freedom. Why should we reflect? Why should we look? Why should we consider? Why should we want to EBI and even better if our own behavior and dynamic in our relationship? Well, we get to reprogram ourselves. Now, when I say reprogram, or when I say Vikas, I hope that's how you say his name, Vikas Runwal, when you're reprogramming yourself, it's feeding in positivity. Maybe in your household as you grew up, there's a lot of negativity and communication wasn't healthy and maybe even harmful. I know especially for men, like razzing each other. And I was just joking that was considered okay. And in some cases it is, but with your beloved, pretty much if you have to say I was just joking, it wasn't very funny. We want to remember, humor and beauty are in the eye of the beholder. So it's not what you think is funny. You're trying to make somebody else laugh, right? If what you're trying to be is funny. If you're trying to, smuggle some dig or insult by trying to throw on some sarcasm and call it humor, that's not going to fly. People aren't going to want that in relationship. Everybody knows. Everybody can smell sarcasm, right? I was just joking. That's a big red flag. All right, Vikas, thank you for that one. Reprogramming, change, success, and freedom. You can get freed up from having the same argument or the same conflict over and over and over again if you actually do the Argument Even Better Ifing or some other reflection process to look at, well, how did we do in these specific areas and how can we do better next time? All right, lots of rewards here, so I encourage you to come and check this out with all of the rewards. Oh, gosh, I do have 2 more quotes here for you. I told you I love quotes. All right, this one's by C. Terry Warner, this quote on reflection. Honest self-understanding liberates us from our stuck emotions. So if you're feeling stuck at all in your relationship, unstick yourself, right? Do it by having some reflection. Now, reflection doesn't have to mean you go on a 3-day retreat in the woods or to some place. Reflection could mean you take 15 minutes. It could even mean you take 5 minutes. I try to take the little micro moments in the day, which used to cause me frustrations when there were, things happening. Like, for example, I have a Mac, so, when my computer is slow and it does that little rainbow, I call it the rainbow wheel of death. Now I automatically use that as a cue to roll my neck and my shoulders. So I don't mind it at all. When it comes up, I'm like, okay, it's time to do that. So how can you free yourself from a stuck emotion? By doing something different, thinking something different, creating a new habit, playing a new game, setting a new goal. But all of that starts with reflecting, pausing, pondering, and proceeding. Now, as you're pausing, you're pondering before you proceed, don't get stuck there. You want to make sure that you have a good ratio of looking back to leap forward. You may have heard of the Pareto's principle, which essentially says that 80% of your benefit comes from 20% of the effort. And it shows up all over the place. So you want to look at just 20% of what wasn't working that could work even better, and then use the rest of your energy on actually having what you want. So spend 20% of the time looking on the reflection and what could be even better, and 80% of the time on actually moving forward and leaning in. So avoid the analysis paralysis. Don't get stuck in, well, why did that happen? Or, you really want to just be looking at, you can go back and look at, well, why did that happen? It can be very, very helpful. And especially if maybe there are some triggers from your childhood. By the way, there's a great, great, great exercise. It's number 12 or 17. I don't remember which. But in the fantastic book, my favorite relationship book ever, Getting the Love You Want, it has an exercise in the back that has you identify your childhood wounds and then translate them as a declaration of who you are. And Raj and I did that together, and we have this list of about 17 statements that periodically, usually once a month in our monthly Sundra Reset Summit, we'll read that and say it to each other and remind ourselves. We're kind of like soothing the fight or flight response proactively about our childhood wounds, and we're declaring who we are instead. For example, I have one that's about not being stood up for. And so one of our declarations is something like, we say something when we see something's off, right? And stand up for others, right? And so you can take these actions and take something that is a wound and turn it into, when you're reflecting on it, great exercise to reflect on it. When you reflect on that, then you can turn that into an affirmation. You can post it where you see it, and now you're in the taking aim and leaning in. So 20% on the reflection and 80% on the moving forward. All right, are you liking the quotes on reflection? I got one more for you. Reflective thinking turns experience into insight. So I've had 3 quotes about experience, especially that one, experience is expensive, just be sure you get what you paid for. Turn it into insight if you want it to be worth it, right? If you want that insight or that experience that you had to be worth what you went through, then do something with it. Try something new, say something different, put a new habit in place, put a new structure in place, hire a coach, go to a master class, but do something different so that you're leaning in. Not that you have to be perfect, not that you have to do everything, but simply that you are building a habit for yourself of leaning into loving better, right? In your own way. All right, so pause, ponder, and proceed. So with the pause, there's lots of ways to do that. There's in the moment. There's once a week taking a look. Raj and I have a weekly meeting. I mentioned our monthly Sundra Reset Summit. We have a quarterly retreat we do, and an annual period where we check in both with New Year's annually and on our anniversary annually. So we have lots of different ways that we can pause. Now, you can also pause just in the moment. You're having some crunchiness and conflict with your beloved. Pause, reflection at that moment can be a good thing. I want to say this, but if I say that, it's going to go like this. And if I were that person, how might I want to be treated in this difficult moment? Right? A little moment of pause and reflection can make a huge difference. All right, ponder. This is where you're going to seek perspective, right? Identifying any of your patterns, considering what worked, what could work even better, consulting your values, and listening for your inner wisdom, all right? That's the pondering. And then finally proceed. Now you're going to start setting specific goals and next steps and describing what your new actions are that you're going to commit to and dance with and play with and hopefully inspire your beloved to join in with. Who knows, maybe you've already inspired him or her and you are co-creating these visions and goals already. Okay, so I want to give you a few possibilities for pausing. Oh, look, we're already a little bit over time today, but that's all right. There's a lot here to share. Okay, so possibilities for pausing: breathing, meditating, sitting still, taking deep breaths. That's the first one. That's the first one and the third one and the fifth one and the seventh one. Taking a deep breath. Journaling or writing in whatever format you like to write with, a pen, in your physical journal or electronically and at your computer. Seeking counsel or talking to others. I love to reach out to my dad, my sister, my mom, my friends. I work through things by talking them out. Now, be careful who you reach out to. As you are reaching out and talking to some people and reflecting and considering and asking for input, make sure you're asking people that have your highest and your beloved's highest in mind, and they're not going to get sucked into any venting or stories that you may have about my beloved did this or they did that, and we don't want to get involved in that, right? Okay, other ways that you can pause and just interrupt, the pattern of what's going on is just to notice, like, wow, I just see that I did that. Whoopsie daisy. And of course, you could also pause by doing some reading. Just shift what's going on. And excuse me, Raj and I often keep little books and notes and Post-its and things just around the house so that we can easily have something to pick up and look at, whether it's our vision or some great wisdom from another teacher or relationship expert. We keep something around. We've written a whole bunch of acknowledgments of what we love about each other on pieces of paper and put it in a jar. So if we just want to reach in and pull something out, we can read that. That's a pause, and that'll help us shift. All right, ponder. Here are some questions. These are some prompts that I came up with to have you just thinking about your relationship and how things can get even better. So test these prompts out. These can hopefully be a little kickstart, but come up with your own. And please, if you have any other questions you like, some starters, some sparks to get people going in reflecting on their relationship, put them in the comments, send them to us in a DM. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Examine what you're grateful or proud of. Consider what worries you or any regrets that you might be carrying. Analyze how you can do better next time. That's the EBI, even better if. Love the EBIs. Appraise anything that you need to be in communication about. Like, oh, we just kind of got through that because we were on our way to so-and-so's place, and really it just doesn't sit well, and we should come back to that, right? See if there's anything in that realm to look at. Review what's next for you. It's that taking aim. What's next? And let's see. Name what you're hopeful for or eager to experience together. Now, this is my favorite area, of course, right? The aiming for awesome approach. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I often say, I'm Gabby Sundra, and I help couples get what they both want, right? We're not fighting for one person or the other, but we're fighting for what you're both not fighting. We're playing and aiming. We've stopped the fighting. So much energy goes into fighting. It's so draining. Imagine what you can accomplish and create and experience and enjoy if you're set up as allies instead. All right, pathways to proceeding. How to proceed. Oh, wait, I've got a couple questions I forgot. Prompts to ponder. Last one. Ask what you yearn for most deeply in your relationship and in your life. That word yearning, right? What's the longing, the deep longing that's in your heart for yourself and for your beloved and for your relationship? All right, now we can shift to the final section of the 3 steps of reflection: pause, ponder, and proceed. This is proceed. Now, these are some pathways to proceeding. You know we love to do 90-day games around here and set goals, so that's right at the top of the list. But you could just make a declaration. Just say, I'm going to do this for the next 20 minutes to yourself or to your beloved. Public declaration is great. Jump on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you are and comment and make a post and declare and let someone know that you're going to do this. Maybe you have another couple that you trust and you can both share your declarations to each other and check in periodically. Of course, you can always do a 90-day game with me and get the full limo ride where I'm going to help you create your vision, create your goals, and then turn those lofty visions into an everyday reality. Set your goals is a great way to proceed. Declarations is a great way to proceed. Schedule reminders. Use your phone that you have with you most of the time. Use the technology. Put it on your refrigerator. But put things in place that it will remind you. You don't have to remember it. As I was saying then, visual prompts. I say all the time, pick your prompts, pick your prompts, pick your prompts. We'd love to see you not have to work hard, but actually work smart. So put things on your bathroom mirror, on your refrigerator. I use my screensaver or my home screen on my phone and my computer so that whenever I leave my computer for a few seconds and it comes back, I'm not so worried about needing the password for security, actually. I probably should, but I don't really. It's to remind me. So not just the screensaver that I see, but even my passwords are things to remind me about who I am, who my beloved and I are as a couple, and what we're leaning into, how we're loving better and creating more play, peace, and passion. You can use all sorts of prompts visually, wherever, your passwords, your phone, your screensavers, your refrigerator, your bathroom mirror. Okay, invent a game to play. Hey, you want to play a game? What if we did this, this, and this? Could be a game with yourself, a game with your beloved, a 7-day challenge. Every time we say one negative thing, we've been a little negative lately. What if every time we said one negative thing, we called ourselves on it, not each other, and then we said 5 positive things about the very thing we were just negative about? That's what they call the magic ratio from John Gottman, right? Raj and I put the magic ratio and some other great research done by Harville Hendricks and Helen Hunt and created the drama-free diet. So you can always go to forbetter.love and check out the blogs and look for the drama-free diet. That's a great one. Okay, after a game, another idea is create a weekly check-in. Now, next season, I'm doing a whole series on marriage meetings. Because boy, I've been with my husband for 16 years now, married for 14. It took us 6 years of declaring and trying to make having a weekly meeting a regular habit. We first started with monthly meetings and did all sorts of experimenting, but now we actually have a monthly and a weekly meeting, and it just changed our whole relationship. All the stuff that we normally get crunchy about or have big decisions to make, or we got to talk about taxes, or how are we spending this money, or how are we spending our vacation, or who's coming to visit, all of that happens inside that window, Fridays at 10 a.m. Okay, and that way we finish that off and we get to start our weekend, and we don't spend our weekend talking to each other about all these functional things that need to happen in life, but we're just busy doing life and working. We never get to talk about them, and we just try and squeeze those in. You don't want to do that. All right, last one here is to habituate your goals. So having goals is great, but make it a habit. Make it something that is your new normal. It's part of your couple culture. Like Raj and I meeting on Fridays. Took 6 years to make it part of our couple culture, but we got better and better and better at it. And now we're not perfect. Last year we only missed 5 meetings out of 52. This year, we're only halfway through the year, not even halfway through the year, and we've already missed 5. We did in the last 15 weeks, we did 10 and we missed 5. But that doesn't matter. We're not trying to be purists. We're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to be better and better and better, right? So do what you can to lean into loving better your own way. This week, focusing on reflection and looking back so that you can leap forward by pausing, pondering, and proceeding. Again, I'm Gabby Sundra with For Better Love, and I help couples get what they both want. Join me tomorrow at 5 p.m., and that's May 4th. The replay will be available for a week after that, just a week, but the playbook is only available if you come live. So join us live. You can register at forbetter.love/map-mini, or I think you can just go to mini. You can try that one out too. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I want to leave you with, for the period of reflection today, is the action option. Raj and I always like to say, your mission, should you choose to accept it, can put in a little mission control music, right? A little da 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 da. Like, it doesn't have to be so serious. As we're growing and developing, let's lighten up and have some fun together, right? Okay, so step 1, pick one thing from the pause list, right? And do it now, or pick a time that you're going to do it. And if you're trying to build a habit of pausing when you're in conflict, then make sure that you put it on your refrigerator and put it in 3 or 4 visual places so that you're seeing it and seeing it and seeing it when you don't need it, so that when you do need it, it's going to be more ingrained and right there in the front of your memory, right? And actually, I say the front of your memory, but what you really want to do is take it from your conscious thought, from the action that you're taking, and you want to eventually move it into unconscious, totally habitual, right? So we're trying to take something from all the effort of the frontal lobe and bring it on back to the unconscious, and that's just who you are. You don't talk like that. You talk like this, your beloved. You don't swear at each other. You take a breath when things are getting difficult. What is the normal that you can cultivate in your relationship? So step 2, consider any one of the ideas from the ponder. You really want to just personalize this and go, oh, that one sounds best to me. I'll take that, and that. You're making up your own little reflection cocktail, one thing from pausing, one thing from pondering, and of course then declare and take one action from the proceed list. And it's important that it's actually in action, right? So we're doing the reflection, but after the reflection, we're not doing it just for the insight. We're doing it for the insight that leads into the next round of action, which is perfect for leaning into next week, which is taking aim. And then, of course, the week after that, we'll be starting the season of play. So my team here gave me a little reminder here. Let's make sure if there's anything else to let you know about. Oh, yes. We're doing a survey this week if you are on our email list. If you're not, please go to forbetter.love and join the For Better Love Fights Clean Sex Dirty Club. We'd love to have you there. As we like to say, save being nasty for your sex life, right? We'll give you all sorts of tips on how to keep the fights clean and the sex dirty, right? Both before, as it starts, during, and after, all of those. So you've got tips on not just what to do, but when to do it, because timing is everything, right? All right, so I think that is it for today. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night. We'll also be live on Saturday. Usually it's 15 minutes. Today it was half an hour. I guess it just really got into the pause, ponder, and proceed. But please do keep sending in your questions. And then on Saturday you can come live. And it's a Go Ask Abby. Looking forward to seeing you then and hearing from you. Send me a DM, save this, and let me know what's next for you. Take care.